I am Tina Jackson, and I am going to speak my story of aging with disabilities.
Hi, my name is Jacob Mason, and I'm here to interview Tina Jackson about her life. Who are you, and why do you want to share your story?
My name is Tina Jackson. I am 64 years old with multiple impairments, and I am sharing my story of aging with disabilities. At my age, I can share with young people that it will be okay and you can live a long, productive life with proper planning, maintaining good health care, and using the right resources. I was born with cerebral palsy resulting in limited use of the left side and slurred speech. At 24, I had a stroke which took my speech and part of my vision. At 40, I required the placement of a feeding tube due to the fear of aspiration pneumonia. As I aged, my mobility worsened and I now require the aid of a powered chair.
What would you like other people to know about you?
I care deeply about the rights of all people and work very hard, in my own way, toward making the world a more inclusive, accessible, and safe place for everyone. I love making people laugh. I would be a comic in another life. Politically, I'm liberal, which accounts for my passion for equal rights, going back to the women's liberation movement in the 70s. I have friends of all age, color, abilities, sexual orientation, and religion. They have taught me how to love, respect, and support others. I hope they remember me as a loyal friend, passionate advocate for the disabled, as someone who made them think, as someone who made them laugh and feel good about themselves. Getting older and less mobile, it is harder to make new friends. My peers have family and jobs to keep them occupied. I have made new friends through the various groups I work with for disability justice, but with the distance between us and COVID, I can't see them except for Zoom meetings.
Tell me about your family when you were growing up.
I was blessed with wise parents who allowed me to try anything I desired. This gives me strength and builds independence, which I will need when I fall. I have fallen many times, but I get up and try again and again to reach my goal. Back in 1956, there was little knowledge about brain injury, birth trauma, etc. We were lucky to find a doctor with the knowledge. He started giving my parents resources for therapy and support agencies. I started a CP clinic monthly to see professionals to get braces, etc. At 2 years old, I started attending CP classes to learn to dress, tie shoes, eat, and do hygiene with one hand. I was a very independent kid. I refused help when it was offered to me. I was surrounded by extended family until I was 10. We moved to a farm, up a dirt road, miles from my friends. I learned to climb hills, walk miles, and create our own entertainment. I met a few other children in the area, and we played together. I was never made to feel different. Games had to be adapted for me sometimes, like letting me get closer to throw horseshoes or giving me a head start in softball. My childhood was a happy one. I was strong and determined. When I was learning to ride a bike with one hand, it took me a while to learn how to steer correctly. I would try over and over to ride by my neighbor's house. Each time I would land in her rose bushes. She would pick me out, dust me off, and send me back up the hill to try again. Finally, I got it right and steered right past the rose bushes to the cheers of my neighbor. My parents were wise. They allowed me to try things, knowing I would have to figure it out for myself. My dad taught me goal setting, to be organized, and the love of learning. My mother taught me how to be kind and thoughtful. My 3 sisters taught me to fight for myself and maintain friends after the fight. My friends and family are the joy of my life. I have friendships that have lasted over 50 years. I am still friends with a girl I met at 2 years old, in the cerebral palsy class.
What are some memories of school?
I was not a great student. I was alone most of the time. I was not invited to parties. No one asked me to proms or even on a date. My closer friends were like me, and not really included in social activities. My prom date was a girl, who was considered different, as well. Our mothers talked us into going. We were friends, so we went and watched the prom from a table at a distance. I received little encouragement from anyone in school. When I was searching for direction and vocational help at one time, I thought that I could possibly be a librarian because I love books. I had noticed that students were in the school library during study hall. Thinking it would be an excellent opportunity to try out that line of work, I approached the school librarian one day. "Mrs. Smith, how does a student get a job here during study hall?" I said, taking an unusually bold move. "You can't do it. You have to go through the superintendent, and you can't." "But I know the system. I can find and file books," I said, trying to break her stern look. "No, you just can't do it," she answered in a way to finish the conversation and walked away. I have often wondered if I had been given that opportunity and gained a little confidence in my abilities, would it have changed the direction of my life, and I might still be happy in the stacks in some library, never having to experience the stress and strife that put me where I am today, with even more life challenges. I am sure she did not want to help me. In fact, I think she meant to put me in my place and dismiss me. However, my encounter with her, and others like her, just spurred me to go on to earn 2 college degrees and hold several jobs. After high school, my vocational rehabilitation counselor made me feel worthy of a second chance after my horrible first year of college. I went on to earn 2 degrees in social work and medical records, and work in several career jobs as long as my body would allow. I have worked as a social worker, a medical records technician, and data clerk, a nurse aide for retired nuns, and sold shoes in California. I have done various volunteer jobs such as teaching grade school children sign language, organize an annual bike tour to raise scholarship money, served on several state boards such as Commonwealth Council for Development Disability, and currently I serve on protection and advocacy.
Have you met anyone that's older than you who has cerebral palsy?
Yes, being involved with advocacy groups in the last few years, I have met a few people with cerebral palsy who are my age. Also, in learning of the crib camp movement, which formed after a summer camp for disabled, held in New York State, and operated by some hippies in the 1970s. The campers, many with CP, organized to fight for disability rights, which led to the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act. A few of the campers, now in their 60s, are still active. I follow their actions on Facebook and YouTube. Learning about these early advocates has inspired me greatly. I highly recommend watching the movie Crip Camp on Netflix.
What do you see in your future?
Continue to advocate for the disabled. Learn to write. Community involvement. Attention to my health by exercising/physical therapy and biking. Enjoy my friends and family.
What lessons have you learned?
You have to work for what you want in life. Don't sweat the small stuff, it only distracts you from your goals. Be careful who you choose to be your friend. Some people prey on who they think is weak. You cannot take anything for granted. Be thankful for your blessings. Pray often to heal a troubled soul. Take advantage of every opportunity to encourage others because it's always returned. Always look for supporters and encouragers because they are life changers. Be an informed and involved person of the politics and actions going on around disability issues. It is purposeful and helpful in learning new ways to stay healthy. One day, you will tell your story of how you've overcome what you are going through now, and it will become part of someone else's survival guide.